I'm glad everybody got to see my face there, but we're back. Welcome back. We're talking a little offside onside here, and let's take a look at our topic for today. That the gloves are going to come off, and these guys are going to go at this one. So, refusing to alter, this is all about Brian Cushing. He's been all over the NFL. Refusing to alter Cushing's suspension was the best decision that Goodell and the league could have made. While OTS may very well be a legitimate condition, this was a precedent-setting case that the league set the appropriate standard for, and other players who may consider a similar excuse in the future. So Houston Texans guy, Brian Cushing, we all know this by now. He's come out and said, I never ingested or injected anything, and yet he's got the steroid masking agent coming up. He's saying, I've got overtraining syndrome. That's what it was. Now, Travis, this is kind of, I think, maybe your specialty. Have you heard of this before?
Yeah, the OTS. And I've never actually heard of it ever coming up in drug tests with anybody, right? And I think he's just trying to find a way to get to be able to play this year.
Yeah.
Because, he did it. Just fess up to it,
Yeah.
I think that's what it comes down to.
But then if we go down to the decision, offside or onside, did the league do the right thing?
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Matt?
Yeah, they did the right thing. Overtraining, steroids, how does that mix in there?
Well, see, Cushing, the reason why they had this appeal hearing is because Cushing said, I've got new medical information. And he's like, this is the reason why this HCG showed up in my system, because I overtrained so much. And what I have a problem with, and this is why I think the league did the right thing, is because when you've got a situation like this, you are setting a precedent. Because, steroids have it's done such a bad thing, I think, for sports on the whole. And now what the league has said is, you know what? Whether you can come out and say that you didn't ingest or inject anything until you're blue in the face. Bottom line, 4 games, we're not talking like half a season here. We're talking 4 games. So I think this was just such a precedent, and I think it's important that they say, you know what? We're not going to let you off that easy. So, I mean, do you think it's possible, though, that when you're training, is there a way to monitor this or something like that?
There's like in MMA, there's always overtraining. You're always worried about overtraining for a fight, and you're always trying to peak and stuff like that. I think a lot of people do steroids, especially in the NFL, because it's all about their job, right? They're trying to make sure they're in the lineup every day.
Yeah.
And if they're doing steroids, they're not doing steroids to be better than anybody. They're doing steroids so they can play every day. And because it's such a hard sport, any sport, baseball, hockey, they're doing it so they can play every day. So the guy sitting on the bench is going to take their job, and that's what it comes down to. And I don't think a lot of people realize that is why these athletes really do steroids. It's not because they're, at that level, they're already that good, right?
Yeah.
They're just doing it to play every day.
In baseball, you get 50 games first time for steroids.
Yeah.
NFL, if you get caught the first time, 10 games. You get caught the second time, a season, 3 strikes, you're out. 4 games, not enough. Bump it up to 10.
Really?
Absolutely.
So Matt Schuman's putting his foot down and saying that it should have been a harsher punishment.
Absolutely. Why do you need to take steroids?
Yeah.
These guys already bench 350, 400 pounds.
They're doing it just to play every day. That's why they're doing it.
But then my question is, if you're fatigued and you're sore, how are the steroids benefiting you that way?
You're healing faster,
So that's what it is.
That's all it is.
It's strictly a healing factor.
For sure it is. You got to think, pitchers with sore arms in the NHL, Major League Baseball, they're taking steroids. Their arms, if they're going to pitch every 5 days and throw 98 miles an hour, they're on something. At the end of the year, your arm's just not there.
Do you buy that though, Matt?
No.
Like a healing factor?
That's why they call it professional sports. You don't need to take steroids. Like, if you're that scared you're going to lose your job, you shouldn't even be there in the first place. So you need to be the best of the best.
Well, I mean, I've talked to, we did that phone interview with Steve Banks last week, and he said, he's like, we are out there, this is how we earn a living. Like, we are fighting for our job security. But I just have a hard time, like, is the risk in the end, I mean, now this guy's missing 4 games. If you're saying if he bumped it up to 10, I mean...
No one's going to do it.
Yeah.
Like, steroids are just bad. Like, if you get cut, you get cut. McDonald's is always hiring flip burgers, right? Like, come on now.
Matt Schumann throwing it down. I like it. All right, well, we're out of time now for Offside Onside, but we're going to take a break. Join us when we return, where one of our local hockey players takes a go at my job. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome back. I'm learning about diuretics and steroids during commercial breaks. This is just blowing my mind. All right, well now we're going to talk a little strategy session. We talked a little CFL football earlier, but big game this weekend. We're in a week 9 now. We've got the East on the bye week this week, but fresh from bye week, we're going to have the Edmonton, I'm dropping my buzzer. We're going to have the Edmonton Eskimos facing the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Guys, we've got to break this one down a little bit because Ricky Ray, we found out yesterday, is going to be healthy, but he's going to be up against an even healthier Darian Durant. Now, Matt, I know you're a Riders fan, but do you think that there's a chance this one's even going to be a game?
No, it's not going to be a game.
No?
No. Ricky Ray, he could be healthy, but it's going to be the same old Ricky, just little 20-yard dump passes up the middle.
And we're showing this video now of the Esks just being the Esks, I guess, so far this season. But
they can't even win a fight.
Well, they look tough against the Stamps anyways.
Anyone can look tough when they're on the sidelines like that, right?
Well, Matt had the nice little hand flick going, too, when we were showing the video. So that's Matt's impression of Ricky Ray. But, Travis, I mean, really, like, can you see this one being a game? I know Matt doesn't think it is, but maybe make a case for the Esks.
I'm not an Esks fan at all. You know, I'm all about green and white, and the Riders are just that much better than the Eskimos.
Well, and then we've seen, I know we talked about it last week, too. It's like the Esks, all right, or the Riders, they've got their offense down, and then we saw them, you know, last week, their defense, just when we thought, you know, maybe they're struggling. Brent Hawkins is starting to step up. Their linebackers are playing, like Tad Cornegay, the guy's doing...
That's the beauty about this year's team because they're not relying on the chick and the bags, and everyone wants to be that next big guy, and so everyone's going to step up. And so far,
okay, we have 10 seconds left in our strategy session. I want a score prediction.
36-14.
56-10.
Whoa. Okay, well, on that note, we're going to go... That's a big one, Matt Schumont. My goodness. Okay. All right, time now for Extra Frame. We've got one of our local Bobcats players. These guys are in training camp. They came in here in between their sessions to help us out, do an Extra Frame segment. This is Corey Chisholm. He's a left winger. Let's take a look and see how he did at my job. Take a mustache, too.
I don't have a mustache. The Toronto Blue Jays in Boston for their 3rd go at the Red Sox. We pick up in the top of the 3rd, 1 man on. Adam Lynn sends a flare to the left. Bill Hall, though, makes a beautiful grab as he goes for a slide. That ends the Jays rally. Jump to the bottom of 5 now. 1-0 Bo Sox. Jed Lowry hits a shot over the Green Monster. It is gone for a 2-run shot. 3-0 Boston. 4-0 now. Big Poppy, he takes Jason Fraser up the gut. Marco Scuro scores. 5-zip Boston. That's the way it would end. Jays lose the series.
I like it.
You like that?
Yeah. Oh, did we like it? Way to go, Corey. Now, Matt, you help out here anchoring too in sports. Do we think our job security is in jeopardy?
That was about an 8.5 out of 10 on it.
Oh.
For a first timer, absolutely, you did pretty good.
Wow, and he took 2 takes. Travis, what do you think? Do you think my job's in trouble?
I think you're like cuter than Corey, so I don't think you have to worry about that. But you know, Corey actually trained with us at MMA United for a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay, all right. Well, on that positive note, we're going to head to break, but stay tuned because we're going to answer some of your questions after the break.